Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Death's Hangover. So we beat another level and hopefully I should just be able to press any button to continue to the next level. And we'll see if that works. Yes, it does. Good. I alt-tabbed out of the application and I had a concern there that the buttons may not work because it seemed like that was the case before. I suspect the storyline here is going to be something like Death gave these souls to Dracula, or gambled them away to Dracula, fair and square, and now Death is having his souls in other people's bodies steal the souls back. But I guess that really doesn't matter too much. The game itself is still just an Arkanoid game, so we'll just play it like an Arkanoid game. I'm seeing strange auras around those statues, girls. This isn't what it seems. It is interesting, you kind of have this transition happening here, where it's two male souls that have been resurrected in female bodies, and instead of consistently just playing that off with for laughs, I think there might actually be more of a narrative you could draw from this, in that Death is seeing them as girls now, which it is an interesting philosophical question certainly to think about. Once you are a soul, do you become detached from the human body, and thus are you genderless, sexless effectively, and thus if you are resurrected into another body, do you then just inherently become that gender, even if you don't feel that way? I guess that is almost certainly going to come up to opinion. Alright, so we have an X button, and we have spikes behind us, which is probably the way this was always the case. So what you want to do here is probably break as many things as possible. Like, so I've just like broken everything on this level, and there didn't seem like there was anything going on there. So maybe the idea here to get the secret key and get into a secret level is that you've just got to break everything in each of the levels, which does feel somewhat doable, particularly if you could re-enter levels and try again. Of course, we have to balance that out with the fact that we have 0 souls and only 4 lives, and we're trying to get all the way to the game. I sense Claudia's work behind this, that annoying B word. I mean witch. Yeah. There is a lot of cussing for what otherwise would be a game should be available, like, in very family friendly. Pretty obviously though, what you run into is a situation where you're gonna really have a hard time just destroying everything and running up the score. That's why in a more traditional Arkanoid game, you always choose to move through the level by going to the left or right side. So Dracula's witch is on to us. She's a devious one. So we're gonna have like a sub-boss. Now, notice here, I'm very much just trying my very best to slow down this whole process and collect everything. Loose Soul, you should know the routine by now. We still have the game making the fighting sound effects every time the ball hits. And I guess inherently that's because the other character is inside the ball. Bob. Which that does imply to me that there is... Whoops, we missed the cell. There might be some kind of co-op here where a second player might be able to actually control the movement of the ball, which would be very helpful. As much as this game has added new content and put new twists on things, it also is just really highlighting how Arkanoid in modern times is just not really a good game. Really, because you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over again, and it can only get so difficult without throwing in any new twist before it just becomes far too difficult. And even playing this on easy and being able to slow down the ball, it's still a fairly difficult experience. And I wouldn't be surprised if we fail before we get to the end. The objective, quote unquote, here is you two morons fought bigger battles than this. Right, so now we have lost our regular firing ability, so we'll now try to use this to get the ball going. What's the castle button do? That's a lot of troops. Let's see. I have no idea what castle did, but obviously it didn't work well for me. Man, it is just so easy to mess up. Let's just get out of here. This Claudia is playing games with us. I love games. Can I play too? We're in her game now, you moron. These statues are her pieces, like chess. What? Chess? Can I eat it? What's chess? Can I eat it? If I can read the things correctly. And clearly you can just hit B and skip this if you're just interested in playing the game. I think we're about to find out. Oh poop. Yep. I really think this is kind of one of those cases of a game where it would be much better to censor yourself down to say poop or witch instead of bitch. Just because going to 11 on the dial just doesn't matter. Like, going that hardcore isn't going to make the game any more hardcore, and it's just going to alienate some percentage of players. Probably not a large percentage of players, but if you have 100,000 people who bought and played this game, which maybe that's even a big number for a small indie game, and then you lost 5% of them, that's 5,000 people that maybe negatively review a game just because it's too extreme. Where you're not going to gain anybody new in this type of game by being ultra hardcore. I think it's a misunderstanding of Binding of Isaac to say that had you made a Binding of Isaac game that was really more family friendly, it would have sold less. In fact, to this day, I still think it would make a lot of sense for Binding of Isaac to rebrand itself and make a spin-off game that is just the exact same game with the exact same items, the exact same code, just reskinning it and getting it away from the themes of religious elements and devils, angels, and child abuse elements. Speaking of Binding of Isaac, we have a hand boss here, which would be familiar to people who have played Binding of Isaac, but actually it's more accurate to say this would be an homage to the hands in early Zelda games that would come out of the walls and grab people. So this would have really been the first Legend of Zelda game, and Binding of Isaac is obviously very influenced by Legend of Zelda. Objectives here says wear down boys, a war of attrition. That should do it. Okay. So the idea here is that these are going to be chess pieces on a tile chessboard. Oh, I see what we have to do here. We have to keep the guys dead, and we have to maintain a decent distance, and we'll be lucky if we get even a couple destroyed. Now I have to remind myself I can slow things down here. Now what I haven't really figured out here so far though is, can you just avoid really close enemies, or is it more of a case that you have to they absolutely have to kill them? Because if you just went to the far right side, maybe that's enough. So we have no souls, so we can't do anything, and I guess that just means this door is closed to us, and so we just have to exit and retry the area. Which just probably highlights where this needs to go with why there aren't that many levels. It certainly would make a lot more sense for there to be a lot more levels if there were more lives. And in the traditional game, I would expect there to be a lot more levels. Okay. Got really lucky there. So you're either going to get the ball through the center spot, or you're going to get it bouncing around. Hey, we found the key. So maybe keys are just kind of random. Oh, and you set a castle down and it just starts shooting. Interesting. Well, can you shoot multiple castles down? No. And the desire in an Orkanoid game like this would be to potentially get like a really, really wide paddle that would just cover the entirety of the field, but I've never actually seen that happen in an Orkanoid game. So here we're way over here on the side, and that didn't seem to kill me that the soldier went all the way to the bottom there. Put down the castle. Doesn't mean anything. I just got an achievement probably for collecting enough souls to earn that achievement. I want to get another 5,000 points. To get an extra life if I can. Come on. I also would just prefer the level to end. There went my castle ability, which could have been very useful in the boss battle. can't hit it. Like, I could not hit the ball, bounce the ball, because the enemy was in the way. So pretty obviously there are scenarios here where you'd have to be really good at slowing down or speeding up the ball to just avoid damaging it or hurting yourself. I would kind of be interested in seeing an expert's take on something like this, or a speedrunner's take on this game, but I imagine it really wouldn't be much of anything. It would be probably still a lot of just luck. This is a level where I actually have to kill a certain number of enemies anyways. So even then, trying to avoid an encounter was a waste of time there. I was never going to get the back door open. This would be just great to have a castle right now. Stick it in the middle. See, that didn't actually do any damage that time. She refilled her forces before I actually was able to hit her. The bosses up until this point have been fairly easy, so I would have a concern that the bosses might get too hard. We have one soul for a continue, and we have... we may have won here. There may literally be no way the ball can escape from that. There we go. We did it. And we can go to the secret room because we found the key. Out for lunch, Bob. So we have a statue of these two characters. Good job, but I doubt this is the last we've seen of Claudia. On to the next area. Girls, are you listening to me? So there's different victory texts based on whether you can go to the secret area or not. And I imagine we might get more story by going to the secret area. Although I also imagine we may straight up just die or lose lives by going to the secret area. It's either that or there's secret areas that would lead to completely different paths. The weird thing about that though is it seems like there would be a secret area in every single level, and that doesn't quite make full sense the way this castle is laid out. We have still at least 3 more levels to go to, and let's go forward, I guess, and see what the secret area is. This place has been abandoned for centuries. No problem then, kids, or I mean boys. Okay. Unless this isn't the secret area and we have just moved into the next level, which that would just imply that there's a secret ending you can get with keys. And outside of points, there's still, I suppose, a reason you would want to break things in a level. Because you might find A, another secret key, and B, and a power-up, which so far in the game it feels like there's probably a lot more power-ups than you really need. I think a more traditional Arkanoid or the original Arkanoid game would... Oops, wasn't paying attention. Would really only... The traditional Arkanoid game really would only have 2 or 3 power-ups, and this feels like this has 6 or 7. Now you don't get points, though, for just hitting something, as far as I can tell. If that was the case, you could potentially get the ball to sit in at a certain angle, so it would always bounce back on the paddle, then bounce back into a corner, and then bounce back on the paddle at that same angle. And then you could just put the controller down and wait forever and get an infinite amount of points, I suppose. It's not like I had children once. That would be stupid. Watch out for spiders. So it does seem like we're getting a different kind of story now. I don't know if that's because we're in a secret area, or if this is just the main story movement. Okay, what does the ghost do? The ball seems to get stuck when I press X and go through things. Interesting. Anyway, the past is gone. Avoid those webs, boys. We can do this. So now we're back to... Wow, you can just rush through a level with Ghost, can't you? And I knew it'd be here. Grab that soul quickly. And the ghost still hits the wall in the back, and maybe even does more damage. Dracula really needs to clean this place. I mean, really. Don't be scared, girls. It's just some spiders. Big spiders. It seems like the spiders get stuck in the webs, though. But they may be immortal in these webs, too. And we have to kill the spiders. Yeah, they're invulnerable. Just gonna get them way closer to than you would like them to be. So how many abilities is that? It does seem like you have like at least 8 different abilities here. Seems fairly difficult, though, to avoid dying in that fight. Spiders creep me out. This damn body. Spiders are fun. Spider, spider. Keep them away. This is an interesting thought, too. If a soul is resurrected in... If a male soul, or previously male soul, is resurrected in a female body, would the just biochemistry, the hormones, eventually have that soul feeling and thinking more like a female? Nobody has ever traded brains, traded consciousness in bodies, so we just have no way of really knowing that. But almost certainly one would assume that the hormones affect both males and females' decision making and way of thinking quite a bit. So if you were in a different body, even of the same gender, and that produced different chemicals, it probably would affect how you react to things and how you feel about things. Although I don't think it inherently assumes that it would be something as extreme as all girls are afraid of spiders, and thus you're in a girl body, so you're afraid of spiders. And that is really just a super oversimplification anyways. There are spiders that are worth being afraid of and spiders that are not. Being a woman is fun, right, Andy? It's not fun, you idiot. And I thought the small ones were gross. Take it down quick. Okay. So this one may be a more simple fight, where I may just get a little bit lucky. In that, as long as I don't die too often, I can just bounce the ball towards him. I guess there probably is an implication here that we'll fight Claudia again and see. We can only exit this time. We don't have a key, and it doesn't look like there was a key. And we have yet another custom art image here. Quit hanging around, girls. There's works to be done. On to the next area. So, yeah. It didn't feel special there. If there was a secret area that we just did. It just seems like a secret area was exactly the same as the other levels. And it cost me lives, but overall I think I got 2 souls and ended up spending 1 soul, so I'm probably in a better position around this, and almost certainly there's going to be some kind of encouragement to play the game either with a new game plus to get all the souls, or to play the game all the way through in one run and collect all the souls. I'm not sure I really believe I could pull that off without just being able to return to a level and try a second time. There's just so many occasions here where you get through a level very quickly and it's just a little too easy. But yeah, we went a little long today by going through 2 levels, but we would have been a little short the other way. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.